What's going on, y'all? So, Monday Night Raw after class at the castle. Well, everybody's not perfect. This is one of those episodes where, even though Triple H's been riding high, even though we got a return, the return it was because it was already announced ahead of time that this return was coming. So it was like, oh, it was a surprise, but yeah, we've been knowing this return since before Cardiff, before they went to class at the castle. There was I did this return was announced on maybe like the Wednesday or that Thursday of last week. But overall, the show itself just wasn't it wasn't a good show. And I'm not saying he's going to have his down moments, and this is one of them. So, welcome to my Monday Night Raw review. Let's get into it. They start off with an Edge promo where he came out and just basically called out Dominic Mysterio. He talked about how his relationship with the Mysterios and how he watched Dominic grow up and whatnot. And he basically was saying that it hurt him to have Dominic do that, but he said he's no longer looking at Dominic as, the kid that he grew up with, the person that he could call himself call a nephew and whatnot. This is, he said I don't see him no more now. I see Dominic as a superstar, and he wants Dominic to come out so he could kick his ass. But Rey Mysterio will come out to plead with Edge not to fight Dominic Mysterio. Ooh, excuse me, guys, but not to fight Dominic Mysterio, and that's his son. He basically being a father. This is my son. I know he screwed up bad. Now I'm asking on his behalf for an apology, but please don't do this. And it's like you can see, Edge is just like, wait, I hear you, I understand what you're coming from, but Dominic is old enough. He's old enough to drive, old enough to drink. He's old enough to be a WWE superstar, so he has to face. That means he's old enough to stand on his own 2 feet and face the consequences of when you mess up in the big boy leagues. And the one thing I will say which was weird, because it makes the situation in Cardiff even more weird. When I did my review for Clash at the Castle, I said that Dominic Mysterio just betrayed him and walked away from both his father, Edge, and Judgment Day. But then here on Monday Night Raw, he's actually joined the Judgment Day. Judgment Day has 4 members now. And I'm just like, wait a minute. So it makes it even weirder. Why would he help them beat Judgment Day, betray them, and then join Judgment Day? Why didn't you just have him? It would have been better if he just would have portrayed. Now that you do this, it make it kind of bad now. But I don't know. They decided to have him join Judgment Day anyway, and because Rhea would come out and basically reveal that she was the one who turned down, and that she was the one who set him free, and she's the reason why he is joined Judgment Day, and she really going all in with this whole she his poppy now. I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, Ray would have nothing to do with it, because he saw that Edge was not going to be deterred, that he was going to be determined to beat up Judgment Day and Dominic, and Ray was just like, I don't want to have no part of this. I'm not doing this, and he walked away. And Rhea and Dom was standing in front of him, but seeing that he was walking away from it, they was like, you know what? She looked at Dom and told him, like, no, let him go. If he's walking away, he's really not our problem. So that's basically what they did. They just stood to the side. He walked up the ramp, gave one last look at Dominic, and just left. And then Finn Balor and Damian Priest, they would come from the crowd, and they jumped Edge. Edge tried to fight them off. While Rhea and Dominic just stood there and looked. But with Dominic's help, they would end up getting the numbers game. Would end up getting the edge. But Rey Mysterio would come back out, not wanting to see Edge get beat up. You know, it's not his heart and his nature. So he came out trying to help Edge anyway. To which Dominic and Rhea stopped him, in which Rhea knocked him down and threw him into the steps. And then they ended it with they put like his leg in the chair, and Finn Balor jumped off from the top ropes onto the chair, snapping the chair onto his leg. And which I think Rey Mysterio chased everybody off, including Dom, and they just all stood there, looked at the carnage they caused the Edge. But this would not be the end of the Judgment Day for the night. We will move on to the first match of the night, and the match that got the return, which was supposed to be a tag team fatal four-way to determine the number one contenders for the Usos Unified Tag Team Championships. And the match was good for the most part. It featured the New Day versus Alpha Academy versus Los Lotharios and the Street Profits. The only thing was like, why not you put the New Day in there, but you didn't put the Viking Raiders, one of the tag teams that actually had momentum, but I don't know. But for what happened, I'm glad they wasn't in there, because what I'm getting at is that as the match was going on, I think Chad Gable would put Montez Ford in the ankle lock, and basically during that moment of intense, is he going to tap out or is he going to get to the rope? All of a sudden, Braun Strowman's music hit, and he comes down the ramp and just destroys everybody. I mean, he destroys everybody, and I'm just like, okay, Braun. But you see, the thing was, since I already knew, I was like, oh, Braun is back. I was just like, okay, they was right. Braun was going to be back, and he just came and destroyed everybody for no reason. And then it was just like, I mean, for his character, it made sense, but it just didn't make sense. Why would you do it in this match? Like, I would have rather had him came and did it after Austin Theory's match or something like that, after somebody's match, but he destroyed everybody. And then they did like a weird thing. They went like a picture-in-picture commercial break where they saw you what was going on, but they also saw you the commercials while he was still destroying the people. And then when it came back, it was just like he was still in the ring, and then he was told to leave. I don't know. It was weird, but yeah, the match itself ended in a no contest because everybody was destroyed. So we would get the second match, which was coincidentally, I feel like they did this on purpose, which Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah versus Nikki and Doudrop. And the reason why I said this was ironic is because, if you don't know, Raquel Rodriguez is Braun Strowman's real life girlfriend. So it's like at the segment at which he re-debuted. I didn't even realize till they said that he's been gone for like a year. I'm like, oh wow, it's been a year since Braun Strowman he was released. I didn't know it was been a year. But yeah, it was just like, so after his return, the next match just so happens to be his girlfriend's match. I'm like, that's cool. It was like that little subtle way of, So you automatically knew when Braun Strowman went through those curtains, he saw his girlfriend and Aaliyah just sitting there waiting for their match. It was cool. You didn't see it, but it happened because soon after he left, that was like the next thing to happen. So, but the match itself was cool. They did address the controversy. At first, I thought it wasn't, but they actually revealed that it was controversy, and that when Aaliyah pinned Dakota Kai, Dakota Kai really wasn't the legal competitor. Therefore, technically, the referee's count wasn't legal because she wasn't the legal competitor. Io Sky was. So the fact that the referee counted the pin and the match was over, that was a goof on the referee's part. But yeah, they did address that, and because of it, we found out that Dakota Kai and Io Sky would get a championship rematch next week on Monday Night Raw because of the controversy surrounding how Raquel and Aaliyah won the match. But the match itself was good. It was mostly a match to put over Raquel, as we get to saw her do the Chicana bomb on Doudrop and to win the match. We would get an Austin Theory promo next, where he came out and basically talked about his failed attempt at Clash at the Castle. Though I think he was just messing up his lines, but he tried to like basically play off like it was because of what Tyson Fury did to him. But this would get him into a confrontation with Kevin Owens, who Kevin Owens basically tells Austin Theory that he's delusional if he thinks he had a chance against Roman or Drew, and he tells him that, you know what, Drew and Roman would have put you down. So it was actually a blessing that Tyson Fury actually hit you. And he actually made fun of Austin Theory because one of the lines he messed up when he was talking about Clash at the Castle. He accidentally called it Crown Jewel. He actually called it Crown Jewel, and then he meant to say Clash at the Castle. I'm like, yeah, I think you got a concussion, bro, because it's not that you messed up your line. You saying the whole wrong thing. You can't even talk. But yeah, this will lead into a conversation between the two, where it lead into the next match, which is Austin Theory versus Kevin Owens, which it was a good match. It was a good match. Kevin Owens still looked good, looked strong here, and he would end up getting the victory over Austin Theory. This would lead into a backstage promo with Johnny Gargano. But first, we had a promo for Damage Control, basically saying, talking about their victory at Clash at the Castle, and they and how they felt good, dominant, and that both Dakota Kai and Io, this is where it's revealed that they're gonna have a championship match next week on Monday Night Raw, and this will bring out Bianca Belair, who basically reminded Betty that yes, that although you pinned me at Clash at the Castle, it took all three of you for you to pin me. So she wanted to correct her because she was out there bragging like she pinned her herself, where it really did take all three of them to pin her. And that she challenged her to a match later on tonight, but she would decline and tell them that, Bianca would tell them that you all about control, but unless you have this, her women's championship, you don't have any control. And Betty would tell her that for right now it's about Dakota Kai and Io getting theirs. And she said when she wants to, she will come for the Raw Women's Championship. And either way, either way she like it, and she would say either by her or with the help of Dakota Kai and Io Sky, she will take the Raw Women's Championship from Bianca. This will lead into Johnny Gargano's promo backstage, where he was getting ready to reveal something, but then he would get interrupted by Austin Theory, who was messing with him, telling him like, yeah, you Johnny Wrestling, right? Yeah, Johnny Wrestling. That's what they call you, Johnny Wrestling. But ever since you came back, all you've been doing is talking. So they should change your name from Johnny Wrestling to Johnny Talking. And he told him, you know what? You're right about that. You absolutely right. That's what you want. Before you rudely interrupted me, I was going to say that next week I will be having my return match. Notice I said return, not debut, because it's not treated as his main roster debut. This is treated like as his return. So with Triple H in control, I guess he's making it known, like he's not making it seem like NXT is like its own separate entity, and the main roster when it comes to the main roster, it's the debut. No, this is for Johnny Gargano. I guess this is just they treating it as his return to the ring. but we don't know who it will be. He just announced that it will be his return. We will get the next match, which is which is Rey Mysterio versus Damian Priest. This came about because in the backstage, it was a backstage interview where basically Rey Mysterio challenged either Finn Balor or Damian Priest. He didn't care which one, but he was in a mood and he wanted to fight either or. And it turns out Damian Priest would be the one to answer that challenge. And they had a good match. And I think it went on commercial break, but when it came back, Rhea Ripley and Dominic had made their way to the, along with Finn Balor, had made their way to the ringside. But Rey Mysterio still put up a good fight. It was a good match. He almost had them, and he had it won had it not been for Dominic Mysterio distracting him. I think he had Dominic Mysterio, not Dominic, Damian Priest set up for the 619, but Dominic would distract him, and then he would run into a clothesline and then get hit with a South of Heaven for Damian Priest to have the victory. And they continue. I don't know if they did like a little post-match beatdown. No, they just had a little. They just talked about finishing off Edge next week, as they revealed that Dominic Mysterio will be going up against Edge next week on Monday Night Raw. Then we got the main event, which is The Miz versus Bobby Lashley in a steel cage for the United States Championship, which was, played by his paranoia of Dexter Lumis. But he's the one thing I want them to elevate with the Dexter Lumis stuff is that with what happened with today or with yesterday was that he was able to basically get in and just this time was not, they didn't even bother coming to get him. So it's like, can we just have it official? Because they keep saying he doesn't work here and that he's a disgruntled former employee. Oh, wow. Sorry about that little pause, guys. I was having a little malfunction there with my little ring light. But, yeah, so I would like for them to not have it where they keep talking about Dexter Lumis as a disgruntled employee. I think we need to elevate him to a return superstar just on the main roster now. But eventually, I guess they're building up to it. Because it seems like they're building up to a match between The Miz and Dexter Lumis. But the matchup between Bobby Lashley and The Miz was good. It had a good moment, good spots. Though it was mainly built around. The only thing I didn't like about it was that you knew it was built more about Miz and Dexter Lumis than the United States Championship, and that did not need to happen because this is you're working hard to make the Intercontinental and United States championships mean something, and to have this match knowing that it's just built more about The Miz being scared of Dexter Lumis than anything. So it was just like I really wish they would have done this differently, but it still was a good match. I enjoyed it, and at the end, The Miz, thanks to the cheating between The Miz and Tommaso Ciampa, who actually got his first name back now. They was getting ready to The Miz was getting ready to escape the cage, but Dexter Lumis would pop from underneath the ring, just standing on the ground, looking up at The Miz with this just blank stare, and Miz was like, "What the heck?" So The Miz would get scared to go back into the cage, and then he got speared and pinned by Bobby Lashley. But he would try to, but Dexter Lumis would climb into the cage. And The Miz would try to escape, but Bobby Lashley would beat up Tommaso Ciampa and lock The Miz back inside the cage with Dexter Lumis. And Dexter Lumis would put him in the sleeper hold to end the show. Overall, this wasn't a totally bad episode, but it was a great episode compared to the other Monday Night Raws and the previous pay-per-view and whatnot. The pay-per-view being good didn't help this Monday Night Raw, so I'm going to give this Monday Night Raw. I was going to give it a 7. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because nothing really truly important happened. It was not other than some good story building for Dominic Mysterio and Braun Strowman returning. None of the matches were bad. It was just like I really wish we would have got a winner for the tag team match to see who the number one contender is for the Usos, and everything else was just okay or good. But it could the show could have been structured better. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought. And if you enjoyed this video, you hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoyed the video so much and want to support the channel, you know what to do, guys. Hit those buttons. And as always, hit one of these videos for more of my amazing content. Peace out. I got gameplay coming up. And eventually, I'm working on it. This Stargirl, I gotta go finish that right now. Actually, you know what? Right now, I'm about to go finish Stargirl so I can give y'all that review. Peace.